Hi, my name is Chattoraj, and today we are drawing Kermit the Frog. So grab a piece of paper and your favorite pencil and join me in the art room. Hi there. So today we are drawing Kermit the Frog. This is what we drew in our Saturday morning class today. And now we're going to draw it again here for those of you who missed it. This was the actual finished version of the drawing from the class. And this is what we drew from, which is very exciting. I'm going to put that over here. I just want to quickly point out that this is how you find me. www.futurepicassos.com, info@futurepicassos.com to email me your suggestions. YouTube, you're here, so you know where to find us, and on Instagram at Future Picassos. If you have any suggestions or there's something that you want me to draw for you, please send it my way. I'll flash that again at the end of the class. Okay, so here we go. We're going to draw Kermit. I'm going to put this out of the way. Unfortunately, I'm going to just start with a regular piece of drawing paper. It's a heavyweight paper. I like to erase a lot, so this is the paper that I use. It's pretty good. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be laying out our shapes. So I'm going to show you this really quickly so you can see what we're going to do. We're going to lay out this big oval, this circle connected to these circles, and we're going to kind of put in all of these shapes, and then we're going to go back in and finesse the lines. Actually, the feet are so simple that we're going to do that anyways. I took the pleasure of kind of drawing this to show you exactly what it looks like. Just going to line it up like this so you can see exactly what I'm going to be drawing. So you can like pause it right here and do it on your own, or you can watch and I'll do it with you. It's fairly simple. We're going to start with this circle and we're going to move on with the shapes. I'm going to measure with my fingers. So I'm going to put this out of the way. And we're going to get right down to business. And so you can see that it already makes a lot of sense, and you can kind of see where everything goes. So the first shape that we're going to do right in here is we're going to draw a big kind of egged shaped oval. And that's going to kind of come around. And I'm just going to put this in and I'm going to find the shape. Egg meaning it's more rounded on the back end. And our Kermit the Frog shape looks like this. Now, when I draw, I tend to scribble, and I tend to draw lightly so I can go back in and make my shapes kind of, I don't know, stand out a little bit. So you want to practice drawing these circles and shapes using your whole entire arm. Okay, so the next shape I'm going to do is I'm going to put his head in. And so if you can see this, and I can see my shape underneath this, my head is going to come over here and it's going to touch the line and it's going to intersect at a few certain points. And I'm going to measure that out. So if I take my finger and measure up 3 fingers right here, and if I take my other finger, oops, just finding my thing, and I measure 2.5 fingers over, so right about here. And then this is where my head is going to go. And then if I measure about 3 fingers over from here, inside this box right here is where I want to put my head. Now you can start, so I'm going to draw this fictitious box right here. So you can start by thinking about putting in this shape. And I like to think if I were to separate this on a diagonal, Kermit's head is kind of at a diagonal, and the top part kind of comes up and around like this. And the bottom part kind of comes down like this. So it's like around and down. And then you can erase those lines. Now, again, we're just putting in the shapes, so we can finesse the lines later. Excellent. So what shapes are really important are this shape, and then he's going to have a collar. So eventually to this shape. Now his eyes, if I draw a diagonal right down the middle and I make a little spot right here, my first eye is going to go here, and my first eye is going to be like this, and my second eye is going to be like this. This is how wide they're going to be. So the beautiful thing about YouTube is that you can pause and fast forward and erase. And so right in here, I'm just going to put in a shape to hold the space for the eye that looks like this. One eye here, and it's easier if I turn my paper, and one eye right here. Okay, I'm not going to put the mouth in and stuff, that's later. Okay, so the next shape I'm going to put in is I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to put in some legs. So I'm going to draw this one shape, and then this is going to kind of define where I want my legs to go. So down here, I'm going to mark off right here, right here, right here, and right here. And this shape is going to look like it's going to come over, and then it's going to come down, and then it's going to come over. And these are going to be the back side of his legs right here. So over, down, and over. Okay, so the next shape from here, I'm going to put a line that goes up like this. And this is going to be, and then I'm also going to put a line, just cleaning this up because it's a little messy. I'm going to put a line that comes across like this. And so this line is going to come up like this. And fictitiously, if there was another leg in there, it would come up like this. And then I'm just going to make a guideline for my foot. But I'll do that later. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, and you can pause if you need to, I'm going to make a line that comes up like this. And then from right about right here, and this is where you might want to alter it a little bit if you have to. So this comes up and this comes over. And then this comes over. Erase that. And we can start to put in our legs. So our first foot is going to I always like to, of course, I'm not doing it right now. So our first foot is going to come over here, and this guy is going to come down to right about right here. So then this foot kind of looks like a spatula, like that. And then he has little toes on the end. So I'm struggling with the placement of this leg. So I'm going to redo it. So I'm looking at a negative shape, which is right in here like this, which is showing me that my leg needs to be a little longer. That's okay. Perfect. And so this comes down like this, and this comes over like this. There. So these are the legs. And then this foot comes right about right here. And if I were to draw through the shape, it would look like that. So let's clean that up. And I'm going to move my paper to do that. And then this foot wraps around like this and down. And 1, 2, 3. And when I ink this, it'll make much more sense. I mean, it'll look better. That's what I mean. So this guy looks like that. And then that arm comes back up like that. And then this comes around like that. So these arms we're going to put in, and we're going to keep in mind that he's resting his hand on his face, and we have a collar. So one arm, and I'm going to draw the arm like the collar isn't there. So about 2 fingers down. So one of the arms comes down from right about right here. And I'm just kind of laying it out with stick figures. And then we know his hand is going to wrap around the arm, but the arm is going to come right about right there. And that's 3 fingers down. And it's going to angle up, and it's going to cup his face. So this arm is going to come down like this. And I'm going to draw it as if there is no collar there, right? And then this back part of his hand comes down like that. And then this comes up like this. So his hand, you're going to think of it like a shape. A line like that. Then a line like that. And then it's going to come around like this. Like he's resting on his hand. And then this, I'm just cleaning up this line because I want it to be a little longer. So then this hand is wrapping around like this. Now I'm going to move my arm a little bit. So this is where my arm is going to go. So this comes down like this. I might have to angle this a little bit. That comes down and straight up and over. And this comes up like this. So now we can put in our, our collar. So this is going to come down like this and over like that. And then this comes down and up. And down and up. And I'm going to start over here. Down and up. Then down and up. Then fitting in all of the shapes. Like that. He's got his little collar on. So now you can definitely come in and figure out where and how you want to finesse your lines. And when I ink, it'll look much better. So over here, my hands are going to have 1, 2, 3 lines to show my fingers. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. And my face is going to come up here, and see how I do this line right here through the center line of my face. It's going to help me make the mouth. I'm going to make 2 dimples on either side, 1, 2, and then I'm going to connect this like this. And then down here on the bottom, I'm going to follow this around like this. And I'm also going to turn it. And follow it around like that. So when you're making your lines, keep in mind that they don't always have to be perfect. And I like to, I definitely scribble a lot. And then I go back in when I ink it and I clean it up. And up here with the eyes, think of circles with flying saucers. And our tongue comes down to about right here. Like that. And then this hand over here, there's a negative space. That looks like that. And then there's a finger in here. It's hard to see. Okay, so this finger comes down like that. And then this, you can fit the other 4 fingers in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then later, when I ink it, and I keep saying that, in the inking stage, I will erase the lines. But you'll see that it'll look much better. And that's when I'll do all of the erasing. Now, if you don't have inking materials at home to erase, that's okay. But I want to kind of I'll start to show you what it looks like. I'm going to use this pen right here. And I'm going to start with small lines. And this is when I can be really precise about any changes I want to make with my lines. And I highly recommend turning your paper. And going fairly slowly. So when you ink and after you finish, you can go in and color in your drawing with your favorite coloring tools. Like whatever you want, pencil, colored pencil, crayon, markers. Now I'm going to save the fingers for last because they're little. So see how I'm turning my page so I can kind of get the most of my lines. And this pen, I feel like the ink is running out. I'm going to switch my pens. So I think of it as making brush strokes when I'm using these pens. And then this. And then let's come up here to our eyes. 1, 2. Circle, flying saucer. Saturn eyes. Circle, flying saucer. And then dimple, dimple. One smiley face there. And connecting the mouth there. And there. And I'm going to be really careful following this line around because I want to make sure I don't make a mistake, but it's okay if you do. And this kind of comes up and around over here. And then my hand, that shape, finger, 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 finger. And there you have Kermit the Frog. So now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to erase my page like this and clean up my lines. It's funny that you probably can't see it as much as I can, but this drawing was a little messy. Unfortunately, what happens is when I erase the lines, some of the ink goes away, but that's okay. And then I can color it in using colored pencils or crayons or markers or your favorite coloring medium of choice. And again, it was my pleasure drawing with you today. Remember to pause, rewind, rewatch as I work out the drawing. And you know, we laid it out in such a way. But I made it a little bit bigger and a little off, but that's okay. We laid it out and it kind of came out in the way it was supposed to come out, right? And you can put your name on it and write whatever you want, the date, the time, color it, give it away. If you want to share it with me, please send in your finished copies to info@futurepicassos.com. And I will see you in the art room for our next drawing. Thank you for joining me.